I was so taken aback I had to rub my eyes. Because there, where he wasn't supposed to be, was my husband. What? Why? Why are you here? My husband was supposed to be on a business trip to New York. And yet, why was he in Los Angeles, in a hospital of a neighboring city? The shock didn't stop there. Next to my husband sat a woman and a child, snuggled up close. The mother and child were smiling gently at my husband, and he in return was smiling warmly at them. Anyone who didn't know better would think this was a snapshot of a happy family, but I knew differently. What I was witnessing was an odd scene where my husband was with an unknown mother and child. I couldn't just stand by and let this pass. I slowly approached them and called out from behind. My name is Vera, 35 years old. After graduating from university, I started working at an advertising agency, got married at 28, and it's been 7 years now. My daughter Emily, who I gave birth to when I was 30, is almost 5 now. She's been growing up healthy and strong, without any major illness. My husband Jacob is a corporate employee, but he's been increasingly busy for the past few years, frequently coming back late at night and going on business trips. And for that reason, our daughter Emily has developed a slight aversion towards him. Mommy, is Daddy coming home today? That day, as I was preparing dinner, my daughter asked me. I paused from my cooking looking at her and replied, He will come home, but he might be late as usual. Daddy seems to be busy with work. Really? Then it's just you and me until bedtime? Yes, that's right. Yay! Hey Mom, let's watch the anime we recorded together. Okay, after we eat dinner and take a bath. Okay. My daughter's face lit up instantly and she went to spread a tablecloth in the living room. Seeing my daughter visibly happy about my husband's late return, it made me feel a bit complicated, but it couldn't be helped. It wasn't unreasonable that my daughter wasn't attached to him. My husband only came home to sleep. We used to go out as a family on our days off. But the last time we did, that was more than a year ago. My husband's work was so busy that working on weekends was not unusual. On his days off, he would go out alone. He was home very rarely, and when he was, he just locked himself in his room to watch movies or browse the internet. Especially in the last year, he had no conversation with our daughter. And they didn't speak to each other even when they were face to face. I was always the one who had to mediate, which was quite stressful considering we are a family. Our daughter Emily is almost 5 now. If we keep going like this, I'm afraid she will really stop being attached to my husband. We used to go out as a family, and my daughter loved my husband. I want them to go back to how they used to be. Thinking of this, I decided to wait for my husband's return for changing this situation. When I greeted him with a welcome home as he came home at late night, he made a clearly displeased face. Although I was a bit annoyed by his attitude, I decided to start a conversation anyway. Hey Jacob, you haven't had a proper conversation with Emily for about a year, have you? Not really, I don't think so. There's nothing to talk about. You are her father. I wish you would act like one. All of her friends go out as a family. And only our house doesn't even talk to their father. Don't you think that's sad? What's the point of saying that? I'm not playing around. I'm working. I understand that, but I think Emily is the one suffering if this continues. My husband sighed in annoyance and slumped heavily on the sofa. When I sat down next to him, Jacob, loosening his tie, slowly told me, I'm sorry, but I'm really busy right now. I'm up for a promotion and I want to focus on my work. I can see your dedication to your job, but isn't family also important? I understand that working on weekends is tough, but maybe just one day. I don't want to be left behind by my coworkers. You understand, right? I'm working this hard for our family, don't you see? I understand that, but... At this point, I hesitated. I know that my husband is working hard, dedicating his all to his job for the sake of his promotion. But in his immersion in his work, he seems to have lost sight of our daughter and me. If things continue this way, it's not just his relationship with our daughter that's at stake, but our entire family bond might be at risk. Feeling anxious, I gathered my courage and decided to be frank about my feelings with my husband. Jacob, please, I understand you're busy, but I want you to keep Emily's birthday free. Huh? Her birthday? Yes, it's the first Sunday of next month. Actually, her birthday is on Friday, isn't it? But I also have work on weekdays, so I want to take her somewhere on Sunday. I don't know about next month's schedule yet. But at this point, there aren't any business trips scheduled, right? Even if it's a work day, you can take one day off. Please, for Emily's sake. Despite my persistent pleas, my husband tersely said, "Alright, I got it." I knew he was in a bad mood and he agreed reluctantly, but I was still relieved and happy. The next day, while having dinner, I asked Emily, "Hey Emily, your birthday is coming up, isn't it? Is there something you want?" "Wow, really? I want an ice cream maker." "An ice cream maker, huh? Well, let's go check it out together next time." "Yes! Yay! I'm so happy!" Watching my daughter happily enjoying her hamburger, I thought this was a good moment, so I put down my chopsticks, looked into her eyes, and asked, "So, Emily, how about we go out with Daddy on your birthday?" "Huh? Daddy? Isn't he working?" "Daddy said he's going to take the day off for your birthday. So let's go somewhere you want to go, just the three of us." Really? I want to go to the amusement park." "Alright, then let's go to the amusement park. You can choose anywhere you like, as long as it's somewhere we can go, okay?" "Yay, Mommy! Thank you!" Throughout the meal, she was restless, repeatedly asking, "Is Daddy really coming too? Can the three of us really go?" It was adorable and I couldn't help but smile. I thought she disliked her father, but it seemed she was indeed lonely deep down. She seemed much happier than I had imagined, particularly at the prospect of the three of us going out together. One day, with the weekend trip to the amusement park with my daughter ahead, my husband, unusually home earlier than usual, awkwardly began, "Well, you see." I asked what was wrong, and after a moment of silence, he reluctantly spoke. "I have a business trip from Thursday to Sunday this week." "What? What are you talking about? We promised to keep those days free for Emily's birthday, didn't we?" What can I do? The one who was supposed to go suddenly couldn't, and I was the only one available as a replacement. "Even so, why didn't you refuse? Do you know how much Emily was looking forward to it?" What could I have done? It wasn't a situation where I could just refuse. Despite our daughter sleeping in the next room, my husband raised his voice in anger. "Hey, Emily is sleeping, so..." Despite my attempts to calm him down, he continued to yell, his face turning red. "You have it easy, working in a company where you can leave on time, but it's not like that for me. In a highly competitive environment, everything depends on how quickly you can get promoted." What's with all this talk about promotion? Sure, I understand work is important, but what about us? What about your family? Supporting your husband is also a wife's duty. This is why I can't stand people working in cushy jobs. What? At least can you come back early on Sunday? That's impossible. The business trip is in New York, and it takes 5.5 hours one way by plane. In any case, I can't get out of the business trip starting from Thursday. You two should go on your own. Wait, Jacob! Ignoring my call, my husband left the living room. Only my sigh echoed in the room. Time passed as I struggled with how to explain to our daughter. On Thursday night, the day my husband left for his business trip, I reluctantly decided to tell her the truth. Hey Mom, I was thinking about the amusement park I want to go on Sunday. I'm sorry, Emily, but actually, Daddy has a business trip from today until Sunday. So, he has work? Yes, I'm sorry. So, would it be okay if it's just the two of us? Okay, then I'll go to the amusement park with just Mom. A moment of silence spoke volumes about her feelings. She probably wanted to go as a family of 3. But to prevent causing me distress, she pretended to be okay. Noticing this, I felt a wave of guilt that almost brought tears to my eyes. However, I managed to hold back my tears for the sake of my daughter, who was smiling in front of me. Even though I'm alone, I'm determined to make Emily enjoy herself on Sunday. Several days later, on the day of the amusement park visit, my daughter woke up early in the morning and started preparing to go out on her own. We left the house at 7 a.m. so that we could enter the park as soon as it opened. My daughter seems to be really looking forward to it. She was excited and happy throughout our time at the amusement park. But on closer inspection, her face was slightly flushed. Worried, I stopped her. Emily, wait a minute. What is it, Mom? I grabbed her arm and put my hand on her forehead. I felt a tremendous heat. Wait, Emily, you have a high fever. Why didn't you tell me? I'm not feverish. Come on, Mom. Let's go ride the merry-go-round. Emily, I think you have a very high fever. Should we go to the hospital together? No, I finally got to come here with you. Emily! Perhaps her body was really in pain. She collapsed on the spot. Why didn't I notice it until it got this bad? Driven by guilt, I carried my daughter and drove hurriedly to the university hospital. I informed the reception that it was our first visit and rushed to pediatrics. Her temperature was over 40 degrees and she was immediately given an IV. We'll keep an eye on her here, so you should rest a little too. The kind words from the nurse slightly calmed my desperate heart. I decided to take a break on a bench in the rest area after going to the hospital store and buying some necessary items for my daughter. As I walked around the hospital, I heard a familiar voice. When I turned to where the voice was coming from, there was an unbelievable person there. Huh? Jacob? Why are you here? I couldn't believe my eyes. My husband should have been on a business trip to New York. Despite this, why is he in Los Angeles and even in a hospital in the next city? That wasn't the only surprise. Beside my husband was a woman and a child, seated as if leaning against him. Mom, we're going shopping after the hospital visit, right? Yes, we are. The 3 of us, with Dad. Yay! Soon we can go out as a family of 4. I'm excited. You're about to become a big sister, so you need to be responsible, okay? From what I overheard, it seems the mother is pregnant with her second child. Her stomach was round, and my husband was happily stroking it. The mother and child were smiling softly at my husband, and he was returning the smile kindly. If a stranger saw them, they might think it's a scene of a happy family, but not for me. What I was seeing was a strange scene of my husband being with a strange mother and child. I couldn't just stand by and let this slide. I clenched my fist, shaking with anger, and bit my lower lip. So that's how it is. Working on holidays, business trips, in the end, all were lies. I can't forgive him for continuously betraying me and Emily. I took steps towards them, stood behind them, and slowly opened my mouth. Your business trip, it's over already, huh? At the sound of my voice, my husband turned around abruptly. His face had an expression as if he had seen a ghost. While turning pale, my husband desperately squeezed out words. Vera, why are you here? Emily and I went to the amusement park, but she got a fever. She's getting an IV right now. More importantly, why are you here? No, well, that is... Who are these people? Upon hearing my question, the woman next to him looked down, her face turned pale. Who are you, miss? A friend of mom and dad? Hello. What were you doing just now? Today is the day of mom's prenatal checkup. Even though dad is busy with work, he always accompanies us to the hospital. Really? That's nice. You must really love your mom and dad. Yeah, we're going to the amusement park together next time, right, Dad? My husband, startled, forced a strained smile on his face. Just then, the little girl said she was going to the restroom, providing me the perfect opportunity to confront my husband. Would you care to explain? No, it's not like that. This is... What's not like what? From what I heard, you're the father of both that girl and the baby in her mother's womb. Yet you kept telling me and Emily that you were working or on a business trip? Just how low can you stoop? Wait, let's calm down for a moment, okay? I wasn't planning to leave you or anything. Driven by anger, I grabbed the collar of his shirt and pulled his face close to mine. Close enough that our noses almost touched. I stared at him coldly, my voice a harsh whisper. Don't mess with me. How far will you go to betray Emily? Are you really her father? Don't make me laugh. After deeply hurting your own daughter, you dare to father another child with someone else? You're nothing but an irresponsible scumbag. No, it's not like that. Please, forgive me. Forgive you? You have the audacity to say something so convenient. Neither Emily nor I will ever forgive you. When we get home, I want you to fill out the divorce papers. Get ready for it, alright? With a fierce shove, I pushed them away and stormed off. On the way home with my now stable daughter, I stopped by the city office and picked up the divorce papers. Once we got home, I gently explained everything to my daughter in a way she could understand. She seemed to take in everything I said, and in the end, she said this. I'm glad it's not Mom who's leaving. What? You always look so sad when you talk to Dad. As long as I'm with Mom, I'll be okay with anything. But Emily, I thought you loved... I did love him, but I love Mom the most. I hate anyone who hurts my mom. Emily... My daughter's smiling face blurred through my tears. In order to hide my about-to-fall tears, I held my daughter tightly. Afterward, I divorced my husband. I made sure to claim alimony from him and the woman who was about to have his child. He desperately tried to negotiate for a lower amount, stating, "We have a child," or "We're about to have our second child." But I firmly refused. There was no way I was going to lower the amount or let him take the lead. After all, they were the ones who did wrong. It appears that Jacob had been regularly taking time off work and visiting the other woman. This was found out by a coworker shortly after the divorce, which caused his credibility to plummet. His career advancement came to a sudden halt, and he started getting cold stares from his colleagues. Apparently, Jacob was having a child with another woman even though he's got a family. Ew, gross. Not only is he incompetent at work, he doesn't even have basic morals. Well, it would be a relief if he just quit already. Despite the rumors and criticism, he is somehow clinging onto his job, presumably for the alimony and the child supports he owes me. I'll sit back and see how long he can keep this up. On my end, I moved to an apartment near my workplace and started a new life with my daughter. My parents regularly visit us to keep my daughter from feeling lonely. As a single mother, I'm aware that I might make my daughter feel sad in the future. But I'm determined to shower her with all the love I can to minimize such situations.